Matthew Waring and Carly Hale, pictured in Cape Verde, had just landed at Gatwick and discovered their car was missing. Holidaymakers were outraged after landing at Gatwick Airport to learn their cars were missing after a parking company went bust while they were away. Gatwick First Parking, which has been in business for 10 years keeping cars in a CCTV-covered secure compound, ceased trading and its website has been suspended. Police said that around 120 vehicles were found to be parked at various sites in Sussex and Surrey, but they added 30 sets of keys have been discovered for vehicles yet to be found as travelers desperately hope to be reunited with their cars. One passenger, Matthew Waring, 28, had just landed in the UK after spending a week in Cape Verde with his girlfriend Carly Hale, 27. They had paid £60 to leave their Honda Civic with the company, but were devastated to discover their car was missing. The couple, from Gloucester, were forced to spend 14 hours at the airport in West Sussex before finally getting their car back. Mr. Waring, the father of two, touched down at Gatwick at 10 p.m. and said it was depressing to find out the firm had folded and he feared the car had been stolen. He told Mail Online, "We went to the car park where the meeting point was, but nobody was there. We were told by someone that they had heard the company had gone bust and both Bar and I were extremely worried. At this point I phoned the police, but they said they were not dealing with it as it was a matter for trading standards. We had to wait at the airport for 14 hours. It was depressing. We were tired, fed up and miserable. We did not know if we were ever going to get our car back. I did not know if it had been stolen or where it was." After waiting at the airport for 14 hours, the couple, from Gloucester, were eventually reunited with their Honda Civic, pictured, and the boss of the firm, Ir Shad, vanished overnight and quietly gutted his office without telling his landlord or customers. Mr. Ir Shad, 31, ran the company from an office near Gatwick Airport but suddenly closed down while people were still awake. He is believed to have packed his stuff and left the office in Waring, Surrey. On Friday night, landlord Dedman Properties Limited said they were shocked by the sudden disappearance. Owner Graham Dedman said, "We didn't have any notice they were leaving, so we were surprised there was no sign of the owner at Gatwick First Parking today," and the landlord claimed they had vanished overnight. The first we heard of it was when police arrived at the offices on Saturday night because people thought their cars had been stolen while they were away on holiday. "We were shocked. I feel really sorry for the families who couldn't find their cars. They hired the office space from us to do administrative things for the business, but we don't know where they keep the cars or anything like that. They've done a complete runner and we can't get hold of them, and last we heard neither could the police." Mr. Waring, the roofer, added that police eventually phoned him to let him know that his vehicle was left at an industrial estate a few miles away from the airport. He said, "We eventually found the car parked on an industrial estate. We thought it was going to be left in a secure car park, but it was just parked by a curb. I paid £60 for the parking and it looked like a legitimate site, but we now know that Gatwick Airport has approved parking firms, so I will use them from now on." Meanwhile, the married couple returned from a relaxing family holiday in Portugal with their disabled baby to find their black Audi Q7 had disappeared. Kyle and Libby Augustin, from Tenterden, Kent, landed at Gatwick with their 1-year-old twins, including daughter Zola, who has cerebral palsy, and immediately called Gatwick First Parking after calling police themselves. The Augustins were initially told that it was a matter for trading standards and they were forced to return home by taxi and shell out £130. The row of cars parked close to Gatwick Airport were given parking tickets on Wednesday. It is unclear whether these cars belong to people who were Gatwick First Parking customers. Passengers who had landed at Gatwick Airport, pictured, were unable to find their cars after a parking company stopped trading. Mrs. Augustin said, "We had collected our bags and were all tired, but we couldn't get hold of the firm, so we went to where Wed dropped off the car but couldn't see it, and that's when we bumped into another couple who were on the phone to Sussex police about their missing car 2 days later." Libby said Sussex police told her to return to Gatwick before 3 p.m. and she would be reunited with their car. Her husband, Kyle, was at work, so Libby, a New Zealander, who has no family nearby, had to take the twins with her in a taxi. When Libby arrived at Gatwick, no one was aware of an arrangement with Sussex police, so she flagged down a police officer, who made inquiries, and then informed Libby that it was a trading standards issue. Libby had no choice but to return home to Tenterden and says she feels let down by police. The 30-year-old added, "I had been on a 4-hour journey and had to pay around £200, but I still had no car. Zola's cerebral palsy means that her limbs stiffen up easily and she gets aching muscles, so she must have been in discomfort. But can't tell me our car also has her support seat in it that I use when I am feeding her, so I need that back after landing at Gatwick. Stock photos shocked passengers were unable to find their vehicles. Zola has treatment at the William Harvey Hospital in Ashford, and Libby said, "I don't like in town, and without the car it is difficult to get around." It had to cancel 3 physiotherapy appointments for Zola. The Augustins were finally reunited with their car at around 5:30 p.m. on Monday. Sussex police added they helped return more than 100 abandoned vehicles to their owners who had used the non-Gatwick approved parking service before flying. It comes as millions of Britons prepare for the start of the summer getaway as schools break up. Ben Murphy posted on Facebook, "Hi all, warning, don't park your car with Gatwick First Parking meet and greet, as someone I know has just returned to find their car gone and police are saying it's a big scam as loads have gone missing." Sergeant Darren Taylor, of the Gatwick policing team, said, "It's essential that Gatwick Airport passengers use official on-airport parking, or companies registered with Gatwick's off-airport approved parking operators scheme only. To avoid this sort of thing from happening, we're carrying out further inquiries to locate the outstanding vehicles, and the owners of those vehicles will be contacted and kept up to date. Our priority is to find and return their vehicles to them as soon as we possibly can. We're also extremely grateful to everyone who has assisted us in contacting passengers to reunite them with their vehicles. Without their support, we would have had a far harder task," the Gatwick Airport spokesman said. "Whilst we recognize the distress and inconvenience caused, and sympathize with any of our passengers that have been affected, Gatwick Airport has no relationship with Gatwick First Parking as it is not an officially approved off-airport parking operator. Any passengers affected by the company's closure should contact Trading Standards, who are investigating the matter. Gatwick Airport strongly recommends that passengers use official on-airport parking or companies registered with Gatwick's off-airport approved parking operators scheme. More information about the scheme can be found at gatwickairport.com/parking/other parking options/operator scheme/.